All right, so this is my first ever live Q&A. Okay, I see we have people already coming in. Thank you so much for joining in. And I would like to add my fellow coach. Xavier Sebastian, please accept and we shall begin. Okay, hello
Hi.
there. Yes, so we are live and we are going to start a Q&A. I will just set the context for everyone who is watching us. So what we're going to do is, after our introduction, we will start with the Q&A session. We have some scintillating questions that we are asked very often, so we'll answer them. If you have a question of your own, you can just dive right in and type that in the chat box, and we'll answer that as well. So I'll start by introducing myself. Hello, everyone. Most of you know me. Those who don't, I am Aishi Jain. I'm from a small town called Batul in Madhya Pradesh. I'm an English proficiency coach, and I'm on a mission to help a million people achieve fluency in English and use it for career enhancement. Yes, sounds like a far-fetched dream, but yeah, I will make it happen. Over to you. Please introduce yourself to all the guys out there.
Hello, Aishi. I'm so excited for our first live. And myself, Divya Sebastian. Uh, yeah. Hello, Arvin. Hello, guys. Yeah. Okay. So I am from a place called Hosur. It's a place outside of Bangalore, on the outskirts of Bangalore. And I am a lecturer turned content writer come digital coach. And I am excited to announce my beta version of my online course. Okay, I'm going to launch it in the next week. Yeah, so that's about me, Aishi.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, yeah.
So I see that we both have had a long journey. I was also teaching in institutions for 6+ years almost, and then I turned online and been in the digital business now for like for almost a year. So yes, we have a similar journey, hence the connect and the alignment. Okay, so I will
Yes.
dive right in with my first question that I'm asked so many times. And as you are a vocabulary acceleration coach, I think this goes best if I put this forward to you first. So the question is, how do I develop good reading habits? Because that's like the basis of vocabulary. So how do you do it? What do you suggest to your students?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a great question. There are many students and professionals also who are like having this goal of improving their reading habits and how to get better at it, right? So, what I do, like as a student, I used to read the newspaper on a daily basis. I used to make it a point that every day, at least 5 minutes, I read the newspaper, right? And while choosing the newspaper, also there are many factors. Like if you observed, the Hindu is having a particular type of English language that they
Yes,
use, and the
correct.
Times of India is a bit different, right?
True.
Do you agree with me,
Yeah,
Aishi? Yeah.
definitely. Like each dialect, they are, like the dialects are different. The way they put forward the sentences is very, very different. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So for me, it's different for different people. Some people are comfortable with Times of India, and some people are comfortable with the Hindu. So I was a big fan of the Hindu, and there was a separate weekly magazine for youngsters, the Young India kind of thing that used to come up. You know, I am like reminiscing my childhood days. So it was very exciting for me, and I used to love reading the newspaper. And you know, there is. So I think the audience who is here right now, you can also do the same thing. So make sure at least for 5 minutes daily you are reading the newspaper,
Okay.
or even if you don't
Quick
have.
question. What about the people like me who are not too keen into newspapers? Because I'm sure there are people out there who are like newspapers and news, they are so depressing because I feel that way. So what can be the alternative for it?
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Many now these days times are changing, right? So yeah, you're right. There might be people who are not willing to read newspaper. So you can also go with magazines or which you are interested in. Maybe you are a person who are into fashion. So you can read fashion magazines or sports magazine, or you know, even Tinkle Digest. People who are having a childish, they who are a child at heart,
Right.
they also can go with Tinkle Digest and other comics, right? So whatever book or whatever medium you take, so the ultimate goal is, as you're reading on a daily basis, make sure you're learning new words every day, right? So
Right.
a daily basis, right? Let us suppose I read a paragraph and I found 2 or 3 words new to me. Like I don't know the meaning of those words. So what I used to do is I used to maintain a separate book, like a journal kind of thing,
True.
a small, notebook kind of
Yeah.
thing, wherein I used to note down the new words that I came across, and then I found the meaning. Like in my times, we used to have dictionary. Now these days, nobody uses dictionary, right? So we
This
can
is
just Google
my
it up.
favorite activity to do, like make a vocab journal and just find out new words every time I'm reading or even watching movies because I'm a huge movie geek, crazy about
Mm.
movies and series. So whenever, even till now, like whenever I'm watching a new series, I would just pinpoint the new word that I found and the phrases as well. And I'll straight away go to Google, best of all, and I'll just note them down and then I'll use it in daily conversations. So eventually it will just solidify in my mind. So that's how I go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to learn new words on a daily basis, and also, develop the habit of reading and also improve it, right? So this is one thing that we can do, as you said, maintaining a journal of new words, and what we can do is we can also um, um, uh, use those words on a daily basis, right? Like not just learning it and understanding the meaning. Try
Yeah.
to use that word throughout the day. Let's say one new word you've learned it. So purposefully, mindfully, try to use that word in your conversations, right?
Yeah,
So like
precisely.
morning, let's say you've read it. Throughout the day, try to use it at least 5 to 10 times, mindfully. So
Yeah,
that thing, that meaning and the word will get registered in your mind. So
exactly.
that's yeah. So these are the different things you can do, but you should be consistent, right? It's not like you read today and you didn't read tomorrow.
Yeah,
So make it a point that you read it at least 5 minutes. So 5 minutes you can read at least one page, right? So that will be helpful.
correct.
And uh, apart from this, there is something called as speed reading. Have you heard of that word?
Yes,
Uh,
definitely.
have you
I've
come
been
across
looking
that?
about it like in all the places. It's like the go-to trend now, the speed reading thing, especially after Ankur Vaiku's like approach towards it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I've
yeah.
been into it, and I think speed reading is a process that you will reach after a level that you are like when you have the habit of reading. Only then you can like dive into speed reading. But yeah, it's really
Mm.
good for fluency because
Yes.
when you're having a conversation, it's
Mm.
basically like I listen to YouTube in like 1.5x. So automatically I
Mm.
speak faster in terms of fluency.
Yes.
So same as with speed
Mm.
reading. The faster you read, the faster your fluency would be. So I think
Yes.
that's the key way, like the main aim why I would suggest anyone to do speed reading. But yeah, I'm not an
Yes.
expert with that, but you have done research, so yeah, why don't you enlighten?
We are all a work in progress, including me, right? So that is, yeah. So why I suggested speed reading is like if you want to, improve your reading skills, so you can apply the speed reading techniques on a daily basis, right? So this not only will help you with fluency, but also, see, let's suppose your reading speed is like, let us say X, right? Now it will become X to the power 2 if you learn speed reading, and you will learn, let us say, when you're reading at a particular speed, as a beginner, you're learning 5 words, new words per day. But if you're improving your reading speed, what will happen? You can double that, the number of words you're learning on a daily basis. Like if it is 5 in the beginning, it will become 10 new
Yes.
words per day, isn't it? So that is the biggest advantage of learning speed reading.
Awesome, awesome. I love the
Okay?
analogy of mathematics. It just revived like my 10 plus 2 days of mathematics. So yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. Like not just speed reading, any concept that we apply in terms of voice modulation or pronunciation or vocabulary or fluency in general. The more we do it, the more improved it will be. So that's just the key. So completely agree with you. And
Yeah.
dot coach is saying really
Yeah.
crazy hack to implement.
Gauri.
Thank you. Maths and English, yes.
Thank you, Gauri.
We apply English
Yeah.
to everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Gauri, for that. And thank you for the audience who are listening to
Yeah.
us. If you have any doubts, please post the questions in the comments here. We'll be, ready to address that
Yes.
pain points
Be
or anything that you
totally
are.
be active, go all out. Yes. So
Yeah.
I was wondering, like these are some questions that I asked very often. What are the questions that you are asked that you're like just fed up, like, okay, once and for all, I'm gonna give you the answer. So just ask it away.
Yeah. So I've been asked about things like, are there any tips to improve the English pronunciation, like pronunciation skills? Can you mention a few of them,
Yes,
Aisha?
of course. But actually, I'm particularly working on a like couple of clients who are specifically doing this for voice modulation and pronunciation. So what I tell them is like an EPI formula. What it stands for is emphasis, pitch, and inflection. I'll explain them. Hey, okay, Vineet is saying hey, hi there. Okay, so I'm
Ah,
explaining an EPI
right.
formula.
Yeah.
Okay, and E is like emphasis. So I'm telling it in very short because we're on a live, not a session. I don't want to bore you. But emphasis is basically how we say a word and how we force our voice into it. So like every word that a person say, each person will say it differently. For example, just choose a word, something that you like really feel connected to, like your core value. Give me that word.
A word, let's say flamboyant.
Flamboyant. Okay, so the
Yeah.
way you say it is flamboyant. If I change it to another accent, it would be like flamboyant. So
Mm,
the way we are
mm.
putting the force on a word changes, which brings me to the second, that is P for pitch. Pitch is like raising or falling of our voice. So the way we raise or fall our voice exactly like completely changes how the word sounds. So that's the second thing. And third comes inflection, which is basically the combination of both, like where we are emphasizing in a word and how we are changing our pitch. So it can be rising, it can be falling, or it can be a combination of both. So authentic, Vineet, thank you so much. I'm going to use that word. So suppose if we say authentic, so it's like a three-syllable word. So if one person is saying it like it will be authentic. If we are talking to a British native person, he would say like authentic. So it's like a complete switch. Your accent totally changes. It's like authentic. So it goes up first, then it falls down. So that is basically how I go about with pronunciation. And the initial technique that I would suggest would be choose your words that you want to change in your pronunciation. Go to Google, just type it. It will give you in both accents, in American and in British. You can just choose your accent, listen to it, and then copy. Another technique that is called imitation, which is basically copying what the sound we are hearing. So we just listen to it and we copy. Then we listen to it and we copy. And if you want to check if your pronunciation is changed or not, then you record yourself. So this is like the 5 technique formula that I basically follow for the beginners level in terms of pronunciation. So if you want to improve your pronunciation, first learn to apply emphasis, learn to play with your pitch, then use inflection, use the tools that are available out there. They are immense and amazing tools, especially now. So I give a
Yeah.
suggestion to
I
my like
think
inner
like,
circle community as
when
well.
we use a sentence, I think it's more, you can have a better example when it is coming to a sentence instead of a word, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like if I say, this is a tree, there are different intonations you can say,
exactly.
right? Yeah. Can you say an example with like something like a sentence form so
Okay.
that it will
The
be more
audience out
interesting
here,
for the
we
audience?
have like a lot of people. I want you to give me a sentence.
Yeah.
Let everyone play their role here. Great idea for
Thank
recording the
you.
old and new version. Yeah, that's how we track the progress. Thank you, Sahil, for that. And since you are so active, give me a sentence. And we will show you how emphasis and pitch works. Anyone out there, quickly give me a sentence.
Especially in English, it matters a lot when it comes to the intonation of a sentence.
Yes,
Uh,
totally.
you have already, you also had posted something, based on this emphasis. I
Okay.
remember in one of your
Vineet is
posts.
asking API technique. It's not API, it's EPI. E stands for emphasis, P stands for pitch, and I stands for inflection, which is basically intonation. Okay, the difference between intonation and inflection is that intonation is the change of voice and pitch in a sentence. Inflection is in a single word. That is just the basic difference. And since you are like haven't really got a sentence, I'll go up and I would choose authentic idea of recording. I've combined the comments. Okay, so let's go with this. Authentic
Yeah.
idea of recording. Okay. So for example, it's like authentic idea of recording. 4 word in a sentence. So if you are
Yeah.
emphasizing on authentic, so more force will be towards the first word. It will be like authentic idea of recording. So the pitch is going from high to low. Second is idea. So if we are emphasizing on idea, it will be authentic idea of recording. So the more focus is on the second word. Now I would like you to try the third one, authentic idea of recording. So you have to emphasize on the of.
Of. Authentic idea of recording, right?
Perfect.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now go for fourth. Emphasize on recording. Now the pitch here will go up at the end.
Yeah. Authentic idea of recording.
Recording, exactly. So if you notice, most of the times when we ask a question, we rise the pitch at the end. Like, are you going to the party? Especially in British accent. So it rises at the end all the time. So this is like the basics of voice modulation that I give
That
up.
was awesome, Ayushi. It was like a mind opener for me. Thank you so much for that.
So much fun because I have a person who is from like Tamilian accent, so he's trying to reduce his accent so he can go internationally. So I have so much fun with his sessions. We are not just copying the American and British accent. I also try his accent. So I also do the Tamilian accent. So much fun. I can't tell you. So yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Any other questions from the audiences here? Please feel free to ask. Just type and add a comment.
Yes. So first of all, let me thank everyone who joined in here. Thank you so much for joining in our first ever live session on Instagram. And I'm so excited to be here. And if any one of you are having any burning questions with regard to English, please put your questions in here in the comment box so that we can address that.
Yeah, and if you're thinking that it is a silly question, please ask. The silly questions are the best ones.
Yes, so we are waiting for you guys to ask us questions. We'll just wait for a second or two.
Yeah. I actually just remember I had made a note of some other questions. So it was like, what effective techniques do you think we should use for improving listening or comprehension in English? So what would you think about it? Like, what do you do for, like, initially, like when you were in school or something, what techniques did you apply to, like, improve comprehension? Because right now I'm noticing that, especially in kids, they are like fluent in speaking, but they cannot comprehend when they're reading. So how can we solve that?
So basically, I think we can use this idea of recording your own voice, right? So, like first you listen to a particular paragraph, the voice in which the original format is, and then later try the same paragraph in your own voice, and then listen to it. I think this is one thing that will help you a lot in your comprehension and listening skills as well. And many times it happens, the kids these days are really not interested in understanding the meaning of the word. They just go with the style and, that show off kind of thing, but they're not really bothered about understanding what they're really speaking, right? So I think that is something which the kids should note.
Like, I'll just see a character on any movie and automatically they're like just copying. And sometimes it can lead to a blunder where we don't know the meaning of the words and we just say it. So what I suggest for listening and comprehension is that go through various genres of English content. Like, of course, we are totally bombarded with YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and Facebook, and all of that. That is okay. But for listening specifically, I think you should turn off the visuals. So my go-to thing is like podcast or short format audio files that we can easily find on YouTube as well as Spotify and many other platforms. So it's like when you're listening without the visual, you're completely focused on the voice, and then you're able to comprehend it better. And of course, like, live experience is the best. So when you're actually talking with people, that is the best way to learn listening and comprehending skills. Like, it's basic, but people don't often notice that. So you can practice with the podcast. Then, like you said, like, record yourself. The more you will listen to yourself, you will get accustomed to how the others are saying. And for the accent, but a lot of working professionals ask me that nowadays we are getting Spanish, French, German, and whatnot clients, and we are not able to understand their accent, and there are no subtitles also. So how do we get used to that? So I just tell them that get yourself familiar with those accents. Like, listen to more of the content in those particular accents. So you will automatically get accustomed to it. Of course, everything will take time and practice, which is a tough thing to make people understand. But yeah, that's the basics of it.
That's a great tip, Aishi.
Yeah.
That's a lovely tip. And here Vineet is asking a question. Would you be able to help on storytelling? If yes, please share some light. Would you like to share anything about that,
Would you
Aishi?
be able to help
Storytelling.
on storytelling? If yes, please share some light. Okay. So I would want you to be little bit more specific on what area of storytelling do you want. Because basically in storytelling, there are a lot of formats that we can follow. One, there should be a hook, like we do in the movies. Like if you see Avengers movies or any like very high budget or high level movie with good content in writing basis, they always have a hook, and they often use flashbacks. Like they will give an initial scene, like this is what it is, then they will show us the whole movie, and then they will bring us back to that. So that's called like a circle pattern. So if you want to keep your audience
Mhm.
hooked, so I would suggest use that. First of all, a good hook, then of course the characters, and
Mhm.
then it's like basic template. There will be a problem, there will be a solution, there will be a hero and a villain. And villain does not necessarily be a person; it can be a problem. For example,
Yes.
suggest me a movie that you really liked, a movie on social issue. All people who are here, I want you to type your favorite movie on a social issue. Mission statement in different accents. Yeah, Sahil's comment I just saw. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. Okay, I
Okay.
want you
Yeah.
to type down your favorite movies on a social issue so that I can answer Vinny's question a bit better. What's yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never asked you that. What's your favorite movie? Like what genre? Or in particularly like any?
Movies, honestly, I'm not too much into
Oh,
movies these days. Uh,
well, Veer
yeah,
or
but
husband.
then
I'm sure he is definitely into movies. Veer, I want you to quickly write a movie that you really liked, recent, old, anyone, Bollywood or Hollywood. I know he is definitely into movies. Even I don't remember the last movie I watched. Just busy schedules, I tell you. But in general, I would say like, why aren't
uh,
I able to remember
Tare
any movie yet?
Zameen Par. What about Tare Zameen Par?
Darling
That's like one of my
Redemption. Okay.
favorite movies.
Yes, yes. Awesome. That's a great suggestion. Yeah. How could I not remember that? So it's like either you take a striking topic and then you show all the aspects of it. That can be one way of storytelling, or it should be like a direct connect. Like we often go with like all the scientific things and all the glimpse and stars and shiners, but the key thing is emotional connect. So until your story has an emotional connect to the audience, it will not work. So if you're asking about the basic of storytelling, it's like a hook for the beginning that will grab the attention, something like hi-fi, like problem, that people love problems. Whether they would accept it or
Mm.
not, people love problems and they love seeing struggle, because after that is
Mm.
what the accomplishment means something. So that's
Yes.
exactly
Mm.
what story is. Each and every story is like struggle, struggle, then change, miracle or support, and then accomplishment. So this is the basic template of
Yeah.
the
Can
story.
we sum it up it's something called as the hero's journey?
Yes,
You must have heard of
exactly.
the hero's journey,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
definitely. Awesome.
Yeah. So I think Veer has put up a movie name here as
Shawshank. Yeah,
Shawshank.
I have not.
Yeah.
I see Social Diva has joined us. Welcome here. Akshat Jain has joined us. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm just okay. Utkarsh has joined us. Hey there, Reds. Yeah, what interesting names, man.
Yeah. Riddhi is like, I think, my student there.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for joining in, everyone who are here. Please post in your questions if you have any. We would
yes,
like to address it. Yeah.
definitely.
And
Well,
you know
I have
what?
sent.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, no,
please. You
continue,
see.
please.
And one interesting thing that I wanted to share here, uh, let's suppose you want to learn a new word, okay, and you want to remember it. One interesting technique that I found is it's like a visualization technique.
Oh
All
yes.
right. Let's say we'll take the same word, flamboyant. So flamboyant, there are three syllables, right? Flame, boy, and ant. So what does the word flamboyant mean? Flamboyant means a very show-off kind of person, like somebody who shows off a lot, and a lot of confidence he'll exude, though he's not confident, right? That's the
I
meaning
know
of the
a
word
few of them.
flamboyant.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
All right. So how do you relate it, or how do you remember that word and its meaning, right? So let's say we are going to connect the meaning of the word, and we are going to kind of make a funny story kind of thing. So let's say flamboyant, FLAMBOYANT. So flame, boy, and ant. So three words I have picked from this word. So in general, what we can do is from one word, from one new word, you can relate it to older words that you already know, right?
Veer
So
has
from
given a
the
very
word
funny
flamboyant,
comment. Sorry, I'm stopping you there. He has given a comment,
yeah,
fiery ant. I love it.
okay,
Now I'm never
yeah,
forgetting
that's
this
true.
word.
Actually, that's the point where I'm coming to also.
Yeah.
Where you're right about that. Okay, so flame, boy, and ant. So a boy who is very kind of show off kind of person and very confident. Suddenly, when he sees the flame, this boy gets timid like an ant. He gets frightened like an ant. So there are
Oh,
three aspects of it. So I made a story out of it, right?
wow.
Flame, boy, and ant, right? So here, a person who exudes confidence and shows off suddenly gets frightened like an ant by seeing the flame. So flame, boy, and ant.
Wow.
So if you relate like this and visualize that story in your mind, you will never forget the meaning and the word. Okay, I
Nice.
hope
I
this
never
added value to our
thought of it
audience.
like this. Like I do the visualization thing, but I never broke it down into so many aspects. Now this is something I have learned today. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Hey
Yeah.
Mental09. I love this usernames. Loving it.
Thank you, Srisha, for joining in. There are many students of mine who are here. Thank
Thank
you, Vinay,
you,
for
Vinny,
that.
for being so
Yeah.
active. You've been active throughout the live. I'm noticing. Thank you. Okay, I'm coming
Yeah.
to the last question from my side. After that, I'll
Yeah.
leave it out to you guys. If you have a question, please type it right now so we can witness it. Okay, the last question that is very, very common is how long does it take usually? I'm giving the keyword usually to become a proficient speaker in English. Now, this is a question that each and every person I come across asks me.
Yes. Hmm.
So,
So
how
let's
would
ask
you?
the audience. Meanwhile, by the time we discuss, I also want the audience to guess the timeline.
Duration?
How
Yeah.
long do you think a person can get proficient or, get good in his English
English.
language skills or communication skills?
Yeah.
Uh, Guys who are here, please put in the comment box. So meanwhile, I think it all depends on the person. First thing,
Yes.
the very first factor is how badly you need it, right? Uh, how badly you are really aspiring to become a great speaker in English, or improve your English language skills. So that is the first aspect. So if you are really serious about it, you will be consistent on practicing the skills. And if you're consistent, within not even a year, I think within a matter of 2 or 3 months, you can be proficient, right?
Srisha
I
is
think
saying,
Srisha
I
is
believe,
saying,
yeah,
yeah,
depends on person and practice. Vinny just said 1 year.
exactly,
Okay, so
1 year.
yeah, I would like to
Yeah,
address
that's
this in
right,
a
Srisha.
way. Uh, First, I
Mm.
would say that whatever timeline that you're thinking, you're right about that. If you're saying that it will take you 1 year to be fluent, it will take you 1 year. But if you're thinking that I will do it in 3 months, then you'll do it in two and a half.
Mm.
That's my way of looking at it. But
Yes.
in a logical point of view, if we say, so there are aspects of fluency in English, which is like, again, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and then in general, spoken English abilities or skills, as we say. So to master all of these, it takes a lifetime to master. But if you want for basic fluency, so fluency is not like you are able to talk in three accents, you're using like harsh words, like out of the word thing. What are some words that can be used to impress people? See, coming to that. So again, that is again a point of view. Like people get impressed with simple words or those who are like easygoing. Like
Yes.
it comes to the personality types then. Otherwise, some people are that
Yes.
like if we give a like 8 9 syllable word, then also you will say you could have added one more. It depends. Some people
Mm.
like I add what I do to impress. If you particularly ask, I add a few other language and phrases. Like I say
Mhm.
that that person is really special. There's something about him or her. So I would say there's
Mm.
a certain je ne sais quoi about it. I have mentioned this before. So it drives like yeah. I heard something new today, and she just explained me in a way that no one has. So what I do to impress in terms of words would be using phrases. So again, yeah,
Mhm.
coming back to the
Yeah.
original, the time that we need to be fluent is yes, definitely depends on person and practice. Also the
Mhm.
areas that you are focusing on and your mindset. The main is the mindset. If you want to improve and be fluent, I think max of 3 months is enough. What do you
Yeah.
think?
That is true, actually. Yes. If you are really serious, 3 months is enough for, improving your skills. But given that you are consistent at practicing
Exactly.
the skills on a daily basis, right? So,
Right.
but it also depends from person to person. Okay, like all the answers are right. If it's one, as you said, if you think it's 1 year, it's going to be 1 year. If it is 3 months, it's going to be 3 months, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay. So
So I
I
think it was an awesome session,
yeah, we
right?
are walking
Yeah.
towards the end, so we cannot leave them with nothing, of course. So I want to ask
Yes.
you one last thing. Like we have already given some big resolutions that it takes only 3 months. So how can we get people there? Like what do you have that you can offer that will help them to be fluent? So what are you currently working on? Basically, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, currently, like this has been my dream from a very long time that I launch a community of youngsters, whom I can help and add value to, so that I can improve their confidence and communication skills in English. Because because being a lecturer in college, I've come across many students who are really talented and skillful, but lack of communication and lack of English speaking skills have pulled them down. So this has been my go-to mission, wherein I can help the students and add value to their lives, and improve their personality and overall life, right? So I am launching a community called Happy Words Hub. It's called Happy Words Hub, and as part of launching the community of youngsters, uh, I'm planning for a speed reading challenge. It will be like maybe like 30 days to 90 days course, like depending on how fast the students are grasping the concepts. I am planning to launch a challenge kind of thing, for 30 days challenge for speed reading. So, guys, if anybody of you are interested here, you can DM
I
me or, message me.
I certainly
Yeah,
am.
thank you for that,
And I'm very
Aishi.
intrigued with the concept of speed reading now. Yeah, I was actually
Yeah,
coming to the same thing. Like we are like a same force drives us. So hi
yes.
Abhishek, thank you for joining. And
And,
yeah,
yeah. What about you, Aishi? What are your plans?
yes.
Uh,
So like you said, the same force drives us is to like my target like is to make as many people fluent in English as possible because like I've said this before again that 10 to 12 percentage of people in India speak English, which is very low, and we are still on number two. So if I could just raise that percent from even 12 to like 15 or 20, we have no idea where we can
yeah,
take India to. Because because of
that,
language, I have seen many people like losing on opportunities and jobs and monetary benefits and a lot of other things. So I want to
mm,
break that pattern, that barrier. So for that, I have launched my like it's already in place. The Elite Alliance. I have a separate
mm,
page for it. I've already tagged it. So that's it. And the students that I'm working with currently are already en route to the journey. I've done a 30-day challenge recently. Now what I'm working on is 70 challenges separately so that I can specify on each and every area of English. So there's a 7-day
mm,
vocabulary challenge, 7-day speaking challenge,
mm,
7-day pronunciation
mm.
and voice modulation challenge, and 7-day grammar challenge. So
Okay.
one of the person asked like how much should we focus on each and every. So I think 7 days to each and every area if you're giving separately, that's setting your base.
Yes.
And this is, I'm telling you very specifically, this is just the basics that we're doing. So in 1 month, when we are polished with the basics, then we can dive into the advanced parts. So this is
Yes.
the basic concept that I'm launching as of now. And then we can switch on to the next and the next and the next. So yeah.
Definitely.
If you're
And guys,
interested,
I'm already Ayushi's student. I'm in her community. She's amazing at her work. And so I suggest everybody to join in her 7 days challenge. And I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of value from her courses.
yeah, thank
Okay?
you so much. So whoever is interested in speed reading or the 7-day challenges, please kindly DM us in our separate accounts, and you will
Yes.
get all the links, like whatever is needed. You will be informed with the details, the timings, and or any other questions that you might have. So lastly, if any question that's still in your mind, you can ask it right away. Otherwise, we are gonna bid you adieu.
Okay, Chakradhar has joined. Thank you. Thank you all the guys
Yeah.
joining here.
And special thanks to people who stayed all the way from beginning to end.
Yes.
I love consistency.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, there's a huge comment here. I would like to say one thing. Speaking skills depends on people. Oh, thank you so much for mentioning this. That our speaking skills depend on people who we are surrounded with. If we start speaking in English in place of work or study, then it will be easier to learn soon. I cannot agree with you any tit pat more than this. It's completely
Yes.
precise, which is why the communities works better than like singular coachings or other things. Whether
Yes.
it is offline or online, when we are doing it with the people with the same mindset and same goal, more importantly, we definitely
Yes.
improve fast, and we are like the living example. And there are
Hmm.
many out there. But obviously, when
Yes.
we're doing it with someone, it automatically gets easier and fun. Like if we take
Definitely. Yeah.
exams, that's why we do group study, don't we? Like we are
Hmm.
studying and just digging up our mind, but it gets boring after a point. If you're doing it with a group or with the people who are on the same journey, it just gets more fun, easy, and then you're like more into it.
I can't agree
Hey,
more, Ayushi, because yeah, I've seen many of my students coming with their this problem, especially Srisha mentioned as a very valid point here because there are many students, especially like girls. I've seen them telling me, "Ma'am, I'm really ambitious and I really want to improve my English and communication skills. But when I go back home, I don't have anybody whom I can talk with
yes,
in English." Okay, the environment at home, back home or even with friends, even with friends, it is a problem. They think that she's style mar rahi hai,
yes,
theek hai, aisa,
that is a
like
big
that
issue.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
see that especially to the
that is
students
where,
with voice modulation. Like people say, yeah,
yeah,
I'm conscious. If I suddenly switch my accent, they will say like she's over or she's just putting it
yeah.
out. We are. That's how you change your accent.
Yes.
If you're not switching your accent, if you're not practicing in front of people, you will never be able to. And then when you're shifting to Germany or Australia or America, wherever you wish to, then your accent will remain the same. There, nobody's gonna ask you like, where did you get your
Yes.
accent from? But they will not be able to
Hmm.
understand if you are still sticking to the old patterns. So yeah, I
Definitely.
completely agree with you.
So that is where our communities are going to provide a safe space for these
Yeah,
youngsters and students, or even professionals, whoever wants to improve their English skills. It will be an
definitely.
environment of like-minded people who are really willing to improve themselves, right? Yeah. So thank you so much, Risha, for that question. So many things came out because of that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
seeing some compliment
Jagdish.
here. MMI was value added in my journey. I filled my journey with some productive persons like Hugh, Rita, Ayushi. Thank you so much. What is MMI? I do
Thank
not know.
you. MMI, I am Millionaire Mind Intensive, Jagdish. Thank you so much, Jagdish.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for acknowledging. Okay, I think anything else? We are good to go.
Yes.
Yes.
And thank you so much for making this first live so easy and like natural and spontaneous. I had a lot of fun and we're definitely doing this again. So let us know
Def-
when you want us to do our next live in the comments. And if you're interested in our speed reading challenge, 70 challenges or 30-day challenge, please DM us and we'll let you know the
yes,
details. And yeah, this was an amazing live.
definitely.
I didn't know it could be this fun. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
like pushing it away.
Even
It's like too
me too. I enjoyed this
influential type
session.
of thing. No, it's
Yeah,
like it's fun. It's like a video call with friends.
definitely.
Yeah. And thank
Okay.
you for being
Yeah.
my first partner into this. No one could have been better than you.
Yeah, thank you to you too, Ayushi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you so
So,
much, everyone
okay.
present here. Thank you, Divya, for this amazing live. And we're definitely doing this again with more
Yeah,
scintillating, interesting, and twisted questions on
definitely.
English, all areas of it. If you have any doubts,
Yes.
you can DM us, you can put the queries forward, and please do comment on how this experience felt for you. Thank you so much. Have a great
Yes.
night. Bye bye, everyone.
Okay. Thank
Adios.
you, everyone. Thank you, Ayushi. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Yes. Bye bye.